Cody, real quick, short version. I'm a pusher. Cody, come up here. Where you at? Cody? Corey. Come say it, Corey. Sorry. Short version, Corey. Listen, you guys that are here for the first time, this is just an excuse for me to beat you up. And I was talking about something, I can't remember what it was. I was yelling at Michael or something. No, I told Michael when he was young, you're going to be a journeyman electrician, you're going to be a master electrician, you're going to be an electrical contractor, and you're going to take care of your daughter. So I don't want to hear any crap. But Dad, it's hot out there. You know what I mean? I work in the dirt, and these are all construction workers. I'm like, I don't care, right? He became German electrician, master electrician, takes care of his daughter, takes care of his family inside there. And so those of you that are here that are not licensed, that haven't taken theory, that you don't understand what's going on. This is Corey, and Corey came to me a couple years ago, and Corey will tell you a short version. This is an amazing guy. Hey, by the way, those of you guys that wear ties, okay, if you see anybody wearing a tie inside here, I can guarantee you, I can't say those that don't wear ties, because a lot of guys not wearing ties here are multimillionaires. Okay, well, Mike, what about Musk? What about Steve Jobs? What about, I understand, okay? But those of us that are trying to move ourselves up, and you know my story yesterday, why dress is important to me, why it made me feel because I was so poor. Those of you that you wore shoes instead of flip-flops, that's an upgrade. Thank you. Those of you wore jeans instead of cutoff shorts, I appreciate that. Okay, those of you wore a polo shirt instead of a T-shirt, I appreciate that. Those of you wore a shirt instead of a polo shirt, I appreciate that. Those of you that wore a button-down shirt, I appreciate that. Instead of those of you that wore a tie, those of you who wore a jacket. So I know everybody is in a different place, and sometimes listen. Most of us that are wearing a tie, except Brian House, really don't want to wear a tie. Mario, am I right about that?
100%.
So we don't. I'm trying to find an excuse for 47 years to do a seminar and not be Mike Holt. And my wife keeps telling me, babe, I was thinking I'm going to see these apprentices, you know what I mean? I'm out there in California. I just arrived. I arrived. I did a seminar. Right after the seminar, I'm going to the apprentices, do another seminar. The next day, I'm doing another seminar for 2 more days. These are just apprentices. You don't think it's okay that I can just go in a nice shirt? You're Mike Holt, right? So I don't want you thinking that we wear ties and jackets and we dress up because we want to. I got a simple business model, which I did not say yesterday. My business model is to make the most amount of money with the least amount of effort. That's it. Well, in order to do that, I got to figure out, how can I make more money? How can I put myself in a position where other people, water seeks its own level. What do I have to do? So when you see people walking around here in a tie, either they're very, very wealthy or they're working to become very wealthy and very happy and very successful. Those people that are dressing nice, this is an effort. You weren't here yesterday, so we talked about that. This is called dress squared. This is talk about, right? I want to be the next level. It's the next level. So go ahead and tell them your story, real quick version.
Well,
let me make sure it's on. Okay, get it close enough.
Well, like I said, he wants a short version, and a lot of this stuff is going to be very, very, very condensed. So I was kind of born into a family with drugs, alcohol, not a lot of guidance, support, any of that stuff. And got in some trouble early on, about 18 years old, and ended up getting basically sentenced to 10 years in prison, right? So I'll do my time in prison.
How many years in prison did you go at? From 18?
8 years, 9 months, 12 days.
8 years, 9 months, and 12 days. 18-year-old young man, 8 years, 9 months, and 12 days he's in prison. Go ahead.
And so I do my time in prison. I get released. I have a conditional release, so it's basically parole. I'm 28 years old. Don't really have, and like I said, any support system, any family, any guidance. I get out.
Hold on. How old are you? How old are you?
At the time I got out, 28, 36.
28. Oh, you're 36 now. Okay, so it's been an 8-year transition from the day he got out.
Yep. And so my first few weeks out, basically homeless. I was staying at Lighthouse Ministries in Lakeland. Really not having no clue what to do, where to go, but I just kept a good attitude, using a little bit of help I can get for anybody, a little bit of food, a little bit of money, or a ride, any money to catch the bus. And one day I was in the gym, and some guys were messing with me, and they said I had a good attitude, and they were like, hey, man, you need a job? I'm like, yeah, sure. So they told me to show up to this plumbing company. So I showed up to the plumbing company's like, hey, man, come back the next day with your boots on, ready to work, all right? So I come back the next day, they give me a shovel, and man, I dug ditches for 2-3 months nonstop, but I didn't care. I was just happy to be making $10 an hour and doing something constructive with my life. In that time, I went to a motel, which was a pay-by-week motel, and with the hours the plumbing company was giving me, I basically couldn't afford to stay there. So the plumbing company was like, hey, there's this electrical company that needs some help. We're more than happy if you just, want to go over there, get your 40 hours, because we understand. Go over to the electrical company. Now, that's where my career started. And my career started with a shovel. I went over there, they gave me a shovel. They said, hey, man, you're going to be out here digging parking lot lighting. So for months on end, I was outside. Rain, the heat, didn't matter. I was out there digging ditches for raceways and lighting and whatever you could think of. So over time, just working my butt off, keeping a good attitude, I started kind of moving inside, like on those rainy days. And, guys would give me a little task to do. And they would say, hey, take these couple boxes and put them on the wall. Measure them like this, level them off. Okay, do it, boom, done. Walk back up to them. All right, what do you need next? Oh, you done? Normally they're used to, giving the guys tasks like that for the helpers, and that's the lesson you'll see them for the rest of the day. Not me. I'm here to work. I'm not here just for the hourly. So, hey, take these boxes. Hey, take this MC cable. Oh, you know what? Oh, man, this guy's tall. Hey, man, maybe.
Where do you think in a condo you're putting this guy when it goes to trim? When I had my 6'7" guy when I was a foreman, guess what? He's just on the ground with something, guys. Boom. Boom. Instead of that ladder messing around with two little guys running around.
This guy works.
Mario and I, right? I don't think so.
This guy works his butt off. He's pretty smart, man. This guy's tall, man. Oh, we got this figured out. Let's put him in these residential homes, right? Let's get him pulling wire in these track homes with these 8-foot ceilings, Everybody else, the 6-foot, the 4-foot ladders. Me, I don't need a ladder, right? And so, that was working out marvelous, right? So some of the guys were kind of messing up some of the houses. And one day the boss approached me and said, hey, man, would you like to be a foreman over one of these, right? I'm like, heck yeah, man. So that night I took those same exact plans. Those plans were custom home plans. They normally took a crew of 3 guys 5 days. It was me at 29 with a helper that was in his late 50s. I took those plans home. I made a material list. I made a game plan. I color-coded everything. When I got to work, I put my headphones on. I showed him exactly what colors he was going to do, how we were going to do it, and we knocked out 2 of them in 6 days. Normally it was taking 3 guys 5 days. I told my boss on the 6th day, hey, we don't have anything left to do. He said, well, go to the next house. I said, we've already done it. He said, no. Go to the next house. I said, both of them are done. Bull crap. Car comes speeding down the road, right? Tires squealing when he pulls up. He gets out that car, storms inside, looks up, and he goes, you're going to be the reason why my company goes to the next level. I'll never forget that. He shook my hand. He looked. It wasn't just the fact that I did it, but it was the quality that I did it in. Because I never got into this to work hourly. I wanted to be good. So then realizing I was good at what I was doing, I said, well, let me go to school. So I rolled myself in a trade school. And as I got into the trade school, listening to guys, hey, man, there's this license out there. You can get licensed, so I can get me some knowledge, get good at what I'm doing, right? So I'm going after the journeyman's license. About midway through, I hear some of the older gentlemen talking to me. I really key in. As Mike says, listen to some of these older guys, more experience, right? Tie yourself to them. So I'm listening to them say, hey, man, you're smart, bypass it. The journeyman's and the master's about the same. There's the difference in questions and whatnot. But man, you can pass that all day. So I said, you know what? About midway through, you know what? I think that I'm gonna do that. So then I started researching, and I come across Mike Holt's program, right? I'm watching all of his YouTube videos, all of the old videos, anything I can think of that had Mike Holt on it, right? So I get online, I see the price and the cost, and mind you, at this time, I'm probably about 2.5 years into the trade. I'm making $13, $14 an hour. I got a kid. She's, with me and my wife, we're both about the same in income, and we got daycare, which if anybody in here experienced daycare, you know what the weekly prices on that is. So I'm like, man, there's this program, master electrician program, the complete library, and I'm looking at it, it's about $1,700. I'm like, man, we can't really afford it. So I told my wife, I said, listen, I'm gonna take our income tax, and I'm gonna buy that program. And with your income tax, you're paying off debt, you might take a trip. My wife looked at me and said, baby, you sure? I said, man, well, I don't want to cuss, but yeah, I'm sure, right? Put it like that. And about 4 months into that program, at that point I had graduated school, I started realizing oh, I can pass this. I'm really good at this. I ended up moving into the commercial realm, and the commercial project manager, I got him working out with me because I like to exercise, stay in shape. And one day we were exercising, and he just drops the weight, looks at me and says, what are you waiting on? Man, go take the test. You're going to pass it, right? That gave me the confidence, I was like, well, I'm going to schedule the test, man. I'm going to schedule my test 2 weeks out. I scheduled that test 2 weeks out. I took my 1 week of vacation time.
Yep.
And I took the other week, and I did not leave my dining room table. If anybody else wants to see this, I got plenty of photos on my phone to prove I did not leave that dining room table for 2 weeks. I walked into that test. I took the ER first. The ER test was 3 hours, 80 questions, right? I walked in there, 45 minutes, walked out, pages smoking, passed it, first try, without a thought. A month later, I got an email asking would I like to be an inspector for the city of Haines City. I accepted, got there. That week, I wanted to prove to them my value to them, that I wasn't just another employee, that I wasn't just a regular guy. So that weekend, that same weekend of my hire date, I took the ICC 5-hour, 100-question master electrician exam. I took the electrical plans examiner exam. I took the commercial electrical exam, and I also took the residential electrical inspector exam. Passed them all from Saturday to Sunday. I got a email at 2 in the morning of me passing my last one. My wife at 8 o'clock that night said, all right, baby, I'm going to bed. I said, turn on the coffee. I got one more to take. 2 in the morning, right? So a very condensed version. Now I'm sorry. So I did all of that, and then I realized after I was done with that, I'm like, well, what's next? And I seen that there was this EC license, right? I'm like, man, this thing right here has potential to take me to another level, right? Just another accreditation for myself. Maybe I can open a company, see what that might be like. So a month later, scheduled the exam, studied Mike Holt's program, went in there, smoked it. I've never failed a test since I've been doing this. Not in school, not now. And it's guys like Mike Holt, midway through my studying, I started buying collar shirts. I asked my company owner, hey, do you mind if I get my own collar shirts embroidered with your logo on them? Sure. I started tucking in my shirts. No matter what, when it came untucked, I tucked it back in. I made sure I was clean shaven every day. It's holding yourself to a standard, right? You can only hold yourself accountable. We can't do it. You got to want to change, right? There's plenty of opportunities out here in the world. It's up to you to change. I changed my life, not just for myself, but for my family. So let me say this. During that process, right, I missed time with my daughter. I want you to understand that. My daughter would bang on that door when I would lock myself in the room studying and ask, Daddy, will you play Play-Doh with me? As you see the effect that it's having on me, right? I can never get that back. But my daughter lives a good life now. So everybody in this room can change their outcomes. You don't have to take what life has given you. Just because you were given unfair circumstances, you don't have to take what life has given you. Life is all about what you can get out of it. And I'm here today, man, just to thank everybody here, especially this guy here, because he changed my life. Thank you.
Great job, man. Great job. If you were here yesterday, does he amplify every single word that I said yesterday? How many guys were here yesterday? Right? Right, Brandon? Every single word. It's like he wasn't here yesterday. It was like he was here and he was repeating every single thing that I was trying to say. You heard about how he was studying, right? He wasn't studying an hour and a half a day. He was killing it.